Morning to you on this Monday morning again. Monday, yay! Another week is starting. How are we doing all? Let me know in the comments if you had a good weekend. Right, today I'm gonna straight get into it. My camera wasn't working, so I had to restart the whole thing, but never mind. So today we're gonna do a little bit of a chainmail. This is an easy version of the chainmail because it's not the chainmail what's actually going to hold your beads up. So we're going to using a bit of Tigertail, and I really do love it. We had different version of this before. What I did this time, I put colors together for you. So one kit will make you a couple of bracelets, which is on the website, which I'm going to show you just in a second. I really do. I love a bit of a chainmail. So let me turn you down, and I'm going to show you the samples first, and I'm going to show you the colors. So the colors are depending on what findings, we got them in all sorts of different colors, and depending on what colors of findings, I grouped the colors together for you. So with the let me just turn you down so you can see it. There we go, table. So the teal and the purple, and I'm going to give you a little bit more light so you can see it better. There we go. The teal and the purple are going with the silver plated findings. Then we go to blue and hematite color. That's going to go with our rhodium color, so it's just sort of like an antique silver color. Then we have got our rose crystals and amethyst crystals, and that's going with the lovely rose gold findings. Then we have champagne gold, and I love this one, with the champagne AB crystals and the bronze crystals. I think they look really nice as well. Very, very summery, very bronzy color. Then we need to move them over a little bit so I can get all in. Now, do take note of the colors and let me know which one you want me to demo with, and I will grab that one out of the bag. So this one is the gold. The gold have this lovely, like a lemony, it's not ivory. I'm not sure what's the color name of these crystals, but it looks really, it's really pretty. And the teal. So this one is more like an aqua, like a dark turquoise color, and this one is more like a teal color. So I made sure I put the teal with gold findings, and this dark turquoise, I guess, is with the silver one. And lastly but not least is your gray crystals and your black crystals with your black baited findings. So that comes as one kit, 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 and that comes as, and that one comes as one kit. So one kit will make you 2 bracelets. Rose gold and rose gold. Natalie is saying, love the lemon and the blue. Yes, I think that they look really nice as well. Yeah, maybe. Loving the rose. Everybody's loving the rose gold. I like the rose gold with the amethyst color as well. I think that's really pretty. Like the way how I tried to sort of put these kits together, to have one of them which is more blends in with the findings, and one of them which is more stands out. So either one of those. Love the lemon and the blue. Also nice, and with them all. Lucy's saying rose gold. So I think the rose gold is winning. Teal and green. Teal and gold, yeah, the teal and gold is coming back. Black. Teal and gold, I think that shows up quite well on the camera as well. Natalie's saying I look so much better. Yes, I feel lemon and blue. I'm gonna have to. We can mix 2 colors together. Actually, we can take the findings from one color and take the crystals from another kit and put them together. We could do anything we like. Teal and gold. I think teal and gold is winning. Love the green. Gold is rose gold is lovely as well. So it's between the teal and gold and the rose gold, I think. Either gold. Teal and gold. Teal and gold. So let's go with the teal and gold. Right. I do like this one as well. This turquoisey, dark turquoise color. Isn't just lovely? That's probably my sort of my colors more because they're pretty much sky colors. But I love this one as well. Very summery. So let's do this one, shall we? Right, okay, so I'm gonna grab my kit out. That's the one. So in your kit, you're gonna get 3 strands of the 8mm premium bicones. You're gonna get your jump rings, you're gonna get your split rings, you're gonna get your Tigertail, you're gonna get your clasp, and I put this with a double loop clasp as well. So everything is there to make your bracelet. Right, I'm just gonna move this out of the way and open my kit. Very quickly, I'm going to pop you over to the website and show you them on the website. There we go. So, well, you know the drill by now. You go, if you are on the website, you're going to go video tutorials either on the left hand side here, or go into categories and you can get to the video tutorials that way. There is hundreds of different hundreds of different tutorials, video tutorials here and there, because we've been doing this for over a year. I'm going to the chainmail one, which is today. And then we got 6 different options. And Simon kindly has given us a discount on it, which is going to last, I don't know, a couple of days, usually, or until stock lasts, I guess, because we only got a certain amount of strands of the premium 8mm bicones, which you kind of need them for it, because you want them to be nice and even looking. And as well with the premium bicones, they just sit nicely. So I have tried this with round beads and they didn't sit as nice as the bicone beads before. So depending on what color you're gonna go for, each one of those is gonna make you both of those bracelets. Right, let me come back to my bead mat here. There we go, and we're gonna start making. So first of all, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make this main spine of the bracelet. And with the main spine of the bracelets, then once we have the main spine of the bracelet, we're going to go and add our crystals in. So you're going to need a couple of pliers. You're going to need, like I like to use a chain nose and a flat nose, or even a bent nose will do as well. They're quite good for it. I'm not too picky. It's depending what's available or what's very close to my bead mat, I guess. Now, when you're doing this weave, let me just grab, I have been moving bits around. I'm just going to grab my other pliers. And when you're doing chainmail, it's always good to have, a pile of open jump rings on your mat, which we're going to do very quickly. So it will be, once you get started, you do not need to put your work down. You can just keep on going. So I'm just going to take my jump rings. Now, when you look at the spine of your bracelet, the jump rings are the ones what's in the middle, and everything else on the sort of in between the crystals and in between the jump rings as well are the split rings. So we're going to need as many jump rings as long you need to make your bracelet. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to twist them apart. So I'm going to hold it with 2 pairs of pliers here. I'm going to zoom right in for this one. So I'm going to support as much as I can from the jump ring. Can you see it? And then I'm going to twist one towards me, the other one away to open it up, just like that. And I'm going to pop this down to my mat. Then you can't see it. I'm going to pop this down to my mat and just going to sit it there just like that. So when we start putting our bracelet together, I got a pile very quickly what I can quite easily just go and pick up and hook into my jewelry. So it's much easier and quicker to make your jewelry. So most of the time like this, it's all in the preparation work. The more you prepare, well, not everything, I guess it's in the preparation work. The more you prepare, the better and quicker you can make your jewelry or any project, I guess. It doesn't just have to be jewelry related as well. So once I have, I'm just going to do a few more, and then we're going to start making our pattern. There we go. And open this one up. Might just very quickly. Just open up the messages because Lucy is gathering the messages. Oh, Jane, thank you so much for the stars. Really much appreciated. Right, I'm going to start adding my closed rings in here. So I'm going to get my closed ring and just put a pile down on my mat. And I'm going to take one of my jump rings and I'm going to hook 3 of these closed rings on it. 1, 2, 3. Let's pull that out of the way, and I'm going to close this back in. So when I'm closing it back in, I'm going to go reverse what I did, twisting them back in. I'm going to go past the midway. Come on, camera, focus on my hand. I'm going to go past the midway just a tiny bit, and then it will spring shut. Just like that. Now I'm going to take my next jump ring. I'm going to hook this into any of the closed rings. It doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to add 1 closed ring to one side. I'm going to go and add another closed ring to the other side. Actually 2 on this side. And then close it back in. Now the reason why I add 1 ring to one side and 2 rings to the other side, because now very easily I can go ahead and I hook my next jump ring into the one which on the side where I added 2 into the top one, and then we're going to end up with 1 closed ring on one side and another closed ring on the other side, and I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to add 1 on one side. Oops. Don't lose them. And I'm going to add a couple onto the other side and close it in again. Then because I got my pile here, this one needs a little bit more closing. I don't know if you can see it if the camera picks it up, but can you see that there's a little bit of gap? So if there is a little bit of gap, I always just like to spend a tiny bit of more time to tidy this up. So I'm going to just sort of twist it apart, flex it towards each other, bring it to the other side, again push it towards each other, and then meet in the middle, and my gap is kind of disappeared. Now I'm going to take the next jump ring and see, because I got the open jump rings, I don't have to put my work down as I go along. I can just keep on going, adding the split ring. Just makes life much easier and quicker as well. Now these are 6mm jump rings and 6mm split rings. So they are not the smallest, they're not the biggest, they I guess just the right size to work with. They're nice and easy. But of course, you can do this in smaller or you can do this in larger sizes as well. So I just want to stop and show you what I have so far. So I have a chain of rings here, and each one of those links I have got 1 on one side and I have got another on the other side all the way down, split ring. And that is what makes the spine of our bracelet. Now we're gonna come and weave the crystals in between, and that's when they're gonna sort of stand up and open up and sit nicely. But I just need to carry on and add a few more until we get until we get our desired size, I guess. So I'm going to open up a few more jump rings and check in with you in the comments while I'm doing that. Good morning, everyone. If you just joined us, we are doing a little bit of chainmail. We're doing a beaded chainmail. Now, I love this one because it's not the chainmail but holding the bracelet up. So even if you are not so confident with your chainmail skills and you can't close the ring properly, doesn't matter, because with this one the Tigertail is actually going to hold our bracelet up. So even if your ring would come apart, your bracelet would not fall. I just added some just before we started, I foolishly added some hand lotion on my hands, and because of the pliers, they're really slippery. They keep slipping out of my hands. Oh dear, never mind. Just open up a few more and then we will be good to go. So 6 by 1 millimeter jump rings. I like to use these thicker ones. Always the cut, I'm holding it right at the top, twisting one towards me, the other one away. And just preparing a few open ones to put down on my mat. Ashley saying, you look very summery today and much better. Yes, absolutely. Yesterday, I went for a walk with a friend. She was walking her dog. And she come and knocked on my door. And I said, like, oh, hang on a minute. I'm just going to go and get my jumper. So I went and got my knitted jumper. But I probably regretted it, and I forget to add the split ring, silly me. I regretted it like 10 minutes in the journey, or not even that, 2 minutes in the journey, because the weather kind of like warmed up a little bit. So I felt nice and warm. We went for quite a long walk, which was really nice. Sometimes it's just nice to go, and we almost lost the dog once, so we had to go and look for it, but never mind. We found him in the end. So as you can see, because I got those open jump rings, I don't need to put my work down at all, which speeds up how quickly I can add these rings on it. And I'm adding 1 to one side. I'm adding 2 to the other side. And then I'm closing it in and taking my next jump ring. I'm going to be hooking onto the top one where I added 2. Just like that. And keep on going. And 2 on this side. Make sure I close them properly and keep on just adding those jump rings. If it falls down, it's not a problem. I do like to lay it down on my mat and then make sure there is one closed ring to one side and the other closed ring to the other side, and I'm definitely going in the middle one. And keep adding them on. I think I'm more than halfway through now. Just pop it down for a sec. I need to get more out of my bag. You make it look so easy. I constantly drop everything. Lorna is saying, Lorna, I drop everything too. So you and me both. Oh, Camille's saying, you keep teasing me with a lemon one. That's my favorite. I do like that color. I have to look up what the color name of that crystal. I don't think it's called lemon, but it's like a lemon chiffon color for me. And it's really nice and summery, I guess. So yeah, I decided this morning that if I'm going to put my summer top on, that I have got a vest underneath it. So I'm not that crazy. I'm not wild yet. That I just put that on. But I thought if I put my summer top on, perhaps the weather is going to be warmer. Come on, it's almost the middle of the May now. It has to be warmer now. I just want to get my flip-flops out as well. But I'm not that brave yet to get my flip-flops out and then go for a paddle on the beach. I love that in the summer when we can just go down, and usually go down after work, like when we get home, and just go for a paddle along the beach, especially if it's low tide or the tide is going out or coming in, and you can get onto the beach. I just love it. But definitely not paddling in the water yet, rather. So I'm just going to carry on and adding these rings on. What I do love about chainmail, because it's working about a particular size of ring or rings, or sometimes you're working with all sorts of different size of rings, but it gives a rigid frame for your work, so you don't have to, I guess, worry about, like, you know, that's your marker. You can't really over pull it or push it. The jump rings are the size what they are. And with chainmail, something like this is perfect if you're a beginner, because as I said, it's not the chainmail what's holding the beads up. It is the Tigertail what's going to be holding our beads up. So even if your chainmail is not perfect, you will be still good. Like, let me just put this next door to it. So I guess we're almost there. Just try this size. For me, the lemon one, just because you can. So I need to fit me, I need 2, maybe 3 more links than this. So this is just, I got one at the top there, which I just partially put in. Come on, you come out. Let's just add for a sec. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more jump rings after this, and that will be the right size. So I'm very quickly going to open 6 jump rings, and I know that's the size. Once I use up the last jump ring, that is the size I need to go for. Now on the very last link, we're not going to add 3, we're just going to add 2 of our split rings. Now if you didn't have split rings, you could use a couple of jump rings instead if you wanted to, or you could use a closed ring or anything else, I guess, like a large whole bead. All sorts of different variations you could do with it. But if you use a large whole bead, I guess you would need to use large jump rings as well. Right, I want to go into that middle one. Just turn it around. And I'm going to keep adding them on very quickly. Oh, Lucy's saying she's got her teddy bear onesie on. Oh, bless you. You know what? I had a onesie. The kids bought it for me for Christmas. I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years ago. I don't know where it is. I know Simon didn't like me wearing it, so maybe he burned it. I don't know. I don't know where it is. It was before we moved. But then I found a few things went missing when we moved, or it's still in one of those boxes but we haven't opened. It's so comfy. A onesie is so comfy, isn't it? And some of them are made of materials which is like so soft. I love it. Christopher and Lucy, they like theirs as well. Right, only just a few more jump rings to go, and then we have got our length what we need. Now, am I gonna put the teal on, or am I putting the lemon crystals on? Do let me know in the comments. Teal, let me just bring it in. Teal or lemon? Teal or lemon, that's the question. I've got 2 more jump rings to add. So we got a choice of adding the ooh, what we could do, we could mix the 2. We could do like 1 teal, 1 cream, 1 teal, 1 cream. That's an idea. That's an idea. We could do that as well. Teal, please, both. Lemon for Mummy Camille. Lemon, oh, have a look. Let me just add this last jump ring on. And then we will have a look. Right, now come to very end of my bracelet. And here I only need to add 2 on there because we don't need another one to hook into. So I'm just going to add 1 to one side and another one to the other side. And pull them together. Right, okay, so we got our length. Let's just have a look. So Gwen is saying both. Lindsay is saying teal. Right, let me just get, we do the race down, what we usually do on the mat, because otherwise I can't. Ooh, I'm coming to the wrong camera there. There we go, that's the one I wanted. So we do the race down. So this is going to represent obviously the lemon is the lemon, the teal is the teal, and I'm going to use these bronze to represent both. So let's go back and have a look. Anne is saying teal. Jane is saying both. Anne is saying teal, 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 teal. Sue is saying lemon. Gillian is saying teal. Sharon is saying mix. Linda is saying lemon. Lucy's saying lemon. Both. Teal. I think the teal is winning. Teal. Both. Actually, I don't. The both is coming down. Lemon, lemon, lemon. Can't make my mind up, Sheila is saying. Both. So, ooh, you never know. This is coming very close. Teal. Both. Then we got mixed. We got multicolor. Both, please. I think we're going to use both. Oh, no. Teal is back. Oh, I love this. Both. 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 I think we're using both. Look, that's one. We're going to use both. Oh, that's so fun. I love doing that. And then Joe said both. Camille said lemon. Good morning, Edward. Annie said both. Teal. Lucy's saying, you little mink. She's saying, I changed my mind. I want blue. Bless her. Look at this. No, we're not putting blue on it. We could be adding them both in there. Oh, I love it. Because like I have to scroll back on the comments, so I can't like see all of them when they come in, and I love going through and just having a little play. So I'm just gonna take the crystals off of my strand. There we go. I probably need more than. I need a couple of each. Right, what sort of pattern are we going to doing? Are we going to do one of each, or are we going to do zigzag? That would be cool. Or like we could have like how we could, well, so we could have one line one color, the other line other color. We could have one like sort of going zigzagging down like that with the colors. I think that would look really good. Oh, Skimmel is saying zigzag. Oh, I want something like can do red, white, and blue. Yes, you could do this with like red, white, and blue crystals. Absolutely. Checkerboard. Oh yes, the Brenda, thank you. That's alternate. That sounds exactly a checkerboard kind of style. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm gonna get my Tigertail out. And I'm also gonna get my little crimp beads out, as well as my wire protectors. And I'm gonna show you, oh, zigzag. Everybody wants zigzag. Brilliant. We're gonna do zigzag then. So crimp beads are these little metal beads, and I'm gonna zoom in. These little metal beads, which are like circular in shape. Come on, camera, we want to focus on this, please. This, there we go. I just have to put it straight in the middle. And once you crash this together, these are like probably about 2 millimeters size, about the size of a size 11 bead. And once you crush them together, they're quite soft, but once you crush them together with a pair of pliers, they stay that shape. So we're going to take our Tigertail. I'm going to cut a couple of lengths. About, you don't need too long. So I like to work with a little bit longer because it just makes life easier. So just over a foot, I guess. And I'm going to cut it twice because I'm going to need 2 strands. And we're going to do both of the strands at the same time as well. So I'm going to take the end of my Tigertail when I didn't take this out of the bag. So the R wire protector, which is, I also call this very professional, I call it the horseshoe shape, horseshoe shape finding, because that's exactly what is this, a horseshoe shape finding. Come on, camera. There we go. So it has got a little channel in the middle, and then it has got like sort of closed, the channel is closed on either side. So you go through with the wire, this then goes through the loop on your clasp. So what it does is protects the wire from rubbing against the loop, the metal loop on your clasp, and then it just gives a longer life span for your bracelet. So I'm gonna pick up one crimp bead. I'm going to go through that channel on there. I'm just move these beads out of the way a little bit. Just move them here. So I'm going to go into that channel. Could you make this 3 beads wide? You could. You would have to introduce, once you made your actually that's an idea. I could have a little play with that and draw a diagram then for you, but you absolutely could make it 3 beads wide. You need to add another one on the side. Right, okay, so I went into my channel. I'm gonna come around and come in the channel on the other side, and I'm gonna pull this up. I don't need a lot of Tigertail here. I don't really want to waste a lot of Tigertail, so I'm just gonna leave like a little gap, maybe an inch. Now, before I go into the crimp bead and I crimp this, I am going to take my clasp and add my clasp on. So my clasp is going to just sit there. So the horseshoe shape finding our metal, our wire protector, our little metal finding is protecting the wire, rubbing against the loop there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my crimp bead up. I'm gonna take it quite close up to the top. I sometimes either go like, and I can do this with my hands, I push the ends of my wire protector together, so it forms like a closer connection where the crimp bead is. And all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my pliers and I'm gonna squish this. So if I bring it up, come on camera, squish this together just like that, like flatten it right out. And you don't want to squish it too much. It's probably about a good strong handshake kind of squeezing. And once it's squeezed and flattened, we are good to go. This is really strong and this is not going to come off there. Now another thing I want to show you, because it's probably easier to show you right now. Can you use one length of Tigertail for both sides? You could, but I think like, you know, your Tigertail would go from one loop to another somewhere. So you could do it, but I like it with two separate ones because then both of the sides are mirrored and they look exactly the same. So what we're going to do next is, before we add our beads, I'm going to repeat this on the other side, and we're going to add our these little C findings. There we go. So these are covers for your crimp beads. And when we put these ones over our crimp beads, they're just going to look like little bead on the top of it. And so I'm very quickly just going to add the other side in here. And then we're going to add our crimp covers on, and we will be good to start adding our beads on. Right, just pull that up. Now before I crimp it, I'm going to add this Tigertail into that second loop on my bracelet. Pull this up, then add the crimp bead in there. Again, I'm going to push the ends together a little bit, pull that crimp bead up, go in and just crimp it. Just like that. Come on, crimp bead. There we go. And then I'm going to take my crimp cover. So I like to pick it up off my mat. So the end, which is open, is sort of outwards from my plier. So I'm ready to go over my crimp bead. And once I positioned over, I'm just very gently squeezing it together, and then that's just going to form it on the top of there. Now I do go and turn it a little bit and then sort of squeeze it from the other side, just making it sure that this connection is completely closed. Just like that. And instead of looking at a crimp bead, we are looking at a lovely bead on the end there. Has anybody got a question so far? Or can you use a length of Tigertail for both sides? That was the last one. Do let me know before we move on to the next phase of start adding the seed beads. So Tigertail is a nylon coated steel wire. It's really strong. And I use Tigertail for so long. When I go for a straight stringing project, and actually there is so many different ways of using a Tigertail. You could do multi-strands with it, you could do like a popcorn style jewelry with it, you could do fringes with it, you could do like floating jewelry with it. I love doing that one as well with Tigertail. And Tigertail does, although the most I use is the silver one, but it does come in all sorts of different colors. So you could match, like when you do a floating jewelry, it just looks so nice to see like a pink or purple or blue Tigertail. Does everything come in a kit? Absolutely. The wire protectors comes in a kit as well. The crimp beads come in a kit. These. So what we do with the kits, and why is it worth sometimes? Why is it cheaper to buy the kits? Because usually wire protectors, although you only need 8 to make the 2 bracelets, they come in a pack of 25. Crimp beads come in a pack of 200. Again, you only need 8 to make the bracelet. So it's worth it. Like we discount, like can't add whatever you need, and we only charge you for whatever you need in the kit. Right, so I'm going to start adding one color to one side, other color to the other side, and it works out cheaper for you. So just to put you in perspective, the crystals are the normal crystals what we have on the website, which is the premium bicones, and you get 6 strands of those in there as well. Could you do this done with elastic? My 100-year-old friends, elastic the easiest to put. Absolutely you could. So if I did it with elastic, you would have to have so sections rather than having it all joined up. I would do sections. So maybe do I don't know, three, well, have a couple of gaps on either side where the elastic can expand. Right, so I added a teal to one and the lemon color to the other one. Now I'm going to go through with one tiger tail on one side and the other tiger tail on the other side of my jump ring. Pull this through a little bit. Pull that one through a little bit. It's a little bit fiddly for the first couple, but then it's going to take shape. So that one, we added the lemon. We're going to add the teal this time. And where we added the teal, we're adding the lemon. And I'm going to take these through. If I pull this up, can you see? I'm going to take it through if I pull this out. So I got one ring on one side and I got another ring on the other side. So I'm going to take one through one side and the next ring through the other side. And when I pull this up, can you see that just opens up the jump rings and they're going to start to sit nicely. So where I got the lemon, I'm picking up a teal. You could just go through and do one side at a time. I find it easier adding the beads, adding both sides, because it's just how the bracelet, I guess, grows. And then I'm going to go ahead and go through that one. I think this is going to look rather special. Look, that looks so nice already. We got the last two. They are sitting there, but they just moved down a little bit. I think it's looking rather special already. Right, so just going to keep on continue very quickly, adding our crystals all the way down. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing what we did on one side. We're going to do it on the other side. And crimp it. Pull it tight and crimp it. So one by one, I'm adding the crystals. So let me know in the comments if this was easier or harder, what you thought, how's it gonna come together? Or was it like, have you done this technique before? I know some of you have made a bracelet or some of our bracelets like this before. Now you can do this on the bead mat, you can do it in the air, whichever is easier for you to thread the beads on and go through the next link, next closed ring, all the way through. Lucy's saying, I've done it before, it's a nice and easy one. That's what I love about it as well, that it's like, you know, it's chainmail, but it's easy to do. It's not sometimes with chainmails, like, people get put off because if they can't close the jump ring completely and they're afraid that they lose the piece. But they reckon some of those chainmail pieces are absolutely amazing, but can take you hours and hours to make it. So with this one, it's a perfect one to practice, because if you don't close that jump ring and the jump ring is going to fall off or came off, there's nothing's going to happen. You perhaps miss the jump ring, or you lose one jump ring, but the bracelet is not going to, because the Tigertail is holding it up. Jean is saying, I never made a bracelet like this before, but I will try. And thank you so much for the stars, Sheila. And Kimberly saying, you make it easier, and yes, have made it one, then Sarah did it. Sarah is the chain mail queen, I guess. She does so much. I think I did this. We did this one of the USBs. I did it on USB number 2 first, a long time ago. Like, time goes so quickly, and it wasn't last year, it was the year before when we released the USBs. So I think this is a USB number 2 as well, this technique. Just pull that through. Right, I'm probably about halfway now, so I'm just going to keep adding my crystals. Quickly. I like this checker look. I think it looks rather nice. Are they just ordinary jump rings, or are they special jump rings? So no, they are just the 6x1 jump rings, what we have on the website. They don't have to be, like, I know with sometimes with some chainmail patterns, it only works with certain diameter, but this one, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like, because the Tigertail holding the everything up, it's kind of fits. That's what will, you can, the chainmail itself can push together or pull apart a little bit, and the beads are what keeping the distance in between. Oh, Sheila said she's gonna give it a go. You could do a necklace design as well. If I did a necklace, I maybe would use, I don't know, you could do a bigger one, but you could, what you could do is to do the chain as it is, and when you come to the middle, like if you imagine that this is going to be a necklace. Oh, okay, let's have it right way up. So what I would do, I would either add larger crystals at the bottom in the middle, or smaller crystals at the top, or a bit of both, and then you would get that natural curve in the middle as well for your necklace. So you could do that as well. So that's how I would come around and do this one. There we go. Almost at the end now. I'll be trying this with fire polish beads. I love the shape of them. Do they sit nicely as a necklace? So I don't know if I tried it with fire polish, but I have tried it with round beads, and they didn't really sit nice because it's the size of the bead you need. So can you see that they are sitting, so even the bicones, they are sitting in between that gap, but they're sitting on the top part of my closed ring here. So the line of the Tigertail, instead of going right in the middle, it's going towards the top. And then when you add round beads here, they just don't sit nice because the ring can't fit over it quite nicely. I don't think I tried it with fire polished beads. They're more like a soccer ball shape, so they possibly could work. But I do think the best this design does look best with bicones. But try other things as well. And if you do try, pop a picture up in the handmade group and send me a picture, because I miss, but most of the time Facebook is naughty, it doesn't show me a lot of things. And send me a picture, because I would be interested to see, Jane, that if it does work with fire polished as well. So I love mixing the colors. Why didn't we think of this before? We could have missed it all along. You could ombre as well if you had more colors, I guess. You could do all sorts of different things. Rainbow it. You could do a rainbow colorway. If you go for a couple of different kits, then you can mix all of those colors together. Right, almost at the end now. There we go. Oh, Kirsty's saying this spread is stunning. Thank you. It's quite easy to do as well, I think. And as I said earlier before, I can only just repeat myself that it's the perfect for beginners because it's not the jump rings but holding your bracelet up is the Tigertail. So if you don't, even if you don't close your jump ring 100%, your bracelet is not going to fall off. I'm just right at the end. Let just, what happened here? I think I gone through both of the rings. So let's just take, I went to the wrong ring. Let's take the Tigertail back. There we go. And pull this out. And that's the one I need to go through. If it looks a little bit wonky or if it looks a little bit twisted, then just take your Tigertail back and a ring or two, and then it's gonna sit right again. Blue and lemon would be awesome. Yes, that would look good as well. I got a friend who she's actually just redone her kitchen, and she did not redone her kitchen in blue and lemon. And when at first she said, "I want a blue and lemon kitchen," I was like, "Blue and lemon?" I was like, come on. And I'm thinking like, oh, she's got no like interior design sense at all. And when the kitchen was done, this was like some time ago. When the kitchen was done, he actually looked really, really good. Right, so we are all the way to the other end. We got, I think, so can you see here? Our bracelet is twisted because the way how, and I'm going to have to take this back and twist it. Should have checked it. And untwist it. So what happened is that our main, what can happen is that your main body, what you made, is twist. So that's the way how it sits, how it should sit. But sometimes, can you see, can twist together, and then it's still okay, but it just doesn't look straight to me. So if that happens, I go back and I just untwist it to make sure that it sits nice and the right way. Jesse, I need a day when I need a lot of patience. It's not that fiddly, to be honest. Like I don't know. I don't really get frustrated with beadwork because I do like doing it, but I guess you do need, like when I'm doing my nails, I do need all the patience I can get. How is it like you can do one craft and have all the patience for it, and then you do another craft trying to do your own nails, and it's just so frustrating. I mean, it does take me like 2-3 hours to do my nails to start with, but I just did them last night. But I just like, they always just like goes over a little bit and just like, and then it just stresses me out even more. And I've been doing my own nails for a long time now, since lockdown started last year. So should know better. Right, okay, so we're done all the way. I'm just going to pop down and have a look. It sits nice and straight everywhere. So we're going to have to go and do the ends on here. But before I do the end, I'm going to come back to here, and you can see we got our tails. Now I'm going to trim this just a little bit. So I only want about an inch tail. I don't really want to cut it short. If you wanted to, you could cut it short, but equally we can hide these ends in the beads. And just pull this up and pull it up on the other side as well. And then as I am going in, pull this straight. As I'm pulling it on the other side, I'm making sure the ends are just going to disappear into those beads and they don't stick out. If you do find your end, like when you crimp the other end and you come back and look at it and there is a little bit sticking out, then you can just cut it off. But I like to just stick into a bead or two, and then it just disappears in there. And there we go. So we got a nice and neat end on this side. Now, what I suggest doing when you're coming to add your ends onto the other side, don't open up your clasp, because you know it, I did it, I put them on the wrong place, and then then the clasp wouldn't work. So what I mean about wrong way, so when I open this up, it has to go on in that way. So if this clasp is turned around on the other side, the clasp, it's not going to work. So when I'm doing this, and when I'm going to be in the position to crimp it, I am not going to open up the clasp. I'm just going to fold my bracelet over, but I'll show you just in a second what I mean. So we're going to pick up a crimp bead, and after the crimp bead, we're going to pick up our little horseshoe shaped wire protector. I'm going to go around this wire protector, just like that. And without opening my bracelet, so let me just zoom out so you can see it all the way. So without opening my bracelet, we're going to open the clasp just in a second. I'm going to fold this over. So I'm connecting the right side to the right side loop. That's it. And once you went through that loop, you can open up your bracelet and then lay it nice and flat, because now you know you are going through the right hole. Now I'm going to go and pull this up nice and tight. So I have, and I'm going to come and zoom back in, I have my little crimp bead there, which I'm going to take my end of Tigertail through the little crimp bead. It's just hiding just under there. And I'm also going to take my Tigertail through the first crystal itself. There we go. Oh, come on, crimp bead. There we go. Yes. So when I pull this up, I'm going to hold on to the clasp itself at the end, and I'm going to pull on the tail, and that will tighten. Can you see my bracelet is coming towards me? That will tighten my bracelet up. Now you want a little bit of slack in there. You don't want it very tight, like really tight to the brim. So I'm going to take my pliers. I've just left probably about a couple of millimeters. I'm going to grab my crimp bead. I'm going to pull this crimp bead towards my wire protector, and I'm going to go ahead and crimp it just like that. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side. I'm going to pick up a crimp bead. I'm going to pick up my wire protector here, go back through the wire protector. I know which loop I need to go on the clasp, because it's going to be the free loop. And pull this up nice and tight. So my wire protector goes through the loop on the clasp. Right, Sheila is Elaine. Do you need to cut crystals on that end as well? Sheila or Elaine, thank you so much. Yes, you would have to add another crystal on the end as well, which I didn't do. Right, I'm going to show you how to open up a closed. Let's take it back, because it's going to annoy me. If it's only on one side, I'm going to show you how to open up a crimp bead once you crimped it, which I'm hoping is going to work. Right, off with the crimp bead. If this has happened to you, which has just happened to me, that I forgot to add the last crystal, so see, it happens to all of us. If I forgot to add the last crystal on there, you're going to go ahead and you can't really cut your crimp bead, because you will be run the risk of cutting the Tigertail itself. So the way how you can open it up is to So can you see that we've flattened it out this way? So if I go 90 degrees and then push it together from either side, I don't know if how well that picks you up, but can you see that slightly opened up the jump ring? Now I'm going to take this off, and I am not going to use, not jump ring, sorry, crimp beads. I'm going to take this off, and I am not going to use this crimp bead because we already crimped this crimp bead and opened it up. So I'm not quite sure that it's going to be closed back in properly, but that's how you would open up a crimp bead which was already crimped. So I'm going to discard this. I'm going to add my crystals and then I'm gonna repeat. I'm really sorry. It just shows you not a rabbit, absolutely, especially not on Monday morning. And I made a fatal mistake that I didn't bring in my coffee. I just brought in my squash. So properly, that's what it is. Now I'm going to close this back on this end because we're going to have to do it again. I do think that it's not about like anybody, not just me, but anybody. I do think it's not about making the mistake. I think it's how you deal with the mistake and how you then remedy it. And sometimes it's kind of nice to see people making mistakes because like you learn from it. You learn from so much. So now when you're making your bracelet, you're going to make sure you're going to add that last crystal on that before you do your crimping. Right, so we are back here. I'm going to put a crimp bead on. Let's get a few more out of that bag. Add a crimp bead on. And our wire protector, then coming back through the wire protector. Oh, not the crimp bead, somehow hooked into the crimp bead as well. Don't want to go to the crimp bead just yet. I'm going to fold my bracelet over, make sure I am hooking the right side into the right side. Pull this through just like that. And then I'm going to go through that crimp bead. So Elaine, thank you so much for keeping me straight. You win 1,000 brownie points or 1,000 points. I don't know what 1,000 points get you, but you win 1,000 points to keeping me straight. We should keep like a tally up because like you ladies, you keep me straight all the time. Right, I'm going to bring it through a couple of crystals. And then come up and pull this up nice. There we go. Through the loop. That looks better, doesn't it? And that's then the right side. So I'm going to open this up now, making sure I'm holding it straight on my mat. When I crimp it, I'm going to pull it up just enough so it gives me a nice straight line here. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and crimp the little crimp bead. So I want to crimp it probably about a couple of a millimeter or two from away from my crystal itself. I'm just going to crimp that straight flat out, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Add this crystal back on because it's fallen off. Note crystal fallen off. Carol is saying, Kitti, you need to make mistakes more often and to tell us how to solve them. Oh, bless you. Well, Carol, I make mistakes all the time, so that's not a problem. I just laugh at it, I guess, because I always like, you know, when you're working something out and it just doesn't want to work, and then you keep trying and it doesn't want to work. And I don't see it as a disappointment, or I don't see it as a problem. I see it like, great, like I've worked out 80 different ways how not to do it. So I'm like one way closer to find out how it's going to work. something like a pattern or anything like that. Right, just gonna open up that little horseshoe shape finding a little bit so I can pull it through the loop. That's it. And I'm gonna pull this, gonna go through that crimp bead and the crystal. Make sure it doesn't kink. Pull this up nice and tight. I'm just tucking the other end back in. There we go. And I'm gonna pull. So what I'm looking at when I'm pulling the second one, that both of my wire is pretty much the same size. So I'm going to zoom out again, and I'm going to show you that if one of the wires are a little bit longer, like let me pull some back. So one of the wires a little bit longer, just like that. I'm going to trim those ends because they came through. Then your bracelet is going to be slightly wonky. So what I'm looking for when I'm pulling my second strand, that the end is just sort of straightens up, and when it's nice and straight, I know I got the same size of Tigertail on both strands there. Then I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to go ahead and crimp that end as well. Right, let's quickly tidy up these ends. Just getting my cutter. I'm going to cut these little bits. What's on that side? I'm going to cut them. So I'm pulling the Tigertail up and I'm pushing the bracelet down with my pliers, and that makes sure that I am getting it as close as I can. And lastly, what we need to do is just to add our little crimp covers to cover up those crimp beads. So I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of those. I like this checker. I think it looks fantastic, this checker design. The crimp cover too, yes. So I'm going to pick up this little crimp cover, zoom back in, like a little C, and I'm going to pick it up with my pliers so the C is showing outwards. Now I'm not squeezing it just yet, I'm just holding it with my pliers. And then I'm just going to go over the crimp bead, just push it right across, and then I'm going to go in and just squeeze it, just like that. Then pick up the next one. There we go. Turn my bracelet around and add that onto there we go. And then our bracelet is ready to be worn. There we go. I love this checker zigzag, whatever you want to call it, but I think it's nice and easy. And then you got a lovely clasp at the bottom, really nice and easy to undo and do. You have, because it's like using 8mm crystals, it has got a nice weight to the bracelet as well, so it's not too light in weight, which is like, sometimes I don't like heavy bracelets, but sometimes it's nice to have something a little bit with a little bit of weight so you can feel it as on your wrist as well. So this is the one I demoed with. This is steel and lemon chiffon crystals. I don't know what's the proper name of it, and with the gold findings. We also have the gray and the black with the gunmetal black finding. We also have the bronze and this lovely champagne AB with the champagne gold. We have got the rose gold, we have got the rose beads and amethyst beads with them. We also have silver. The silver comes with hematite and the lovely aqua, like a dark aqua color. Look how sparkly is that. They were really nice and sparkly. And then we have got, no, sorry, the blue and not silver. So the blue and the hematite is with the gun. Let me take a sip of my water. The blue and the hematite is with the sort of the antique silver rhodium look, and with the silver you got that tanzanite color and then this dark turquoise color as well. I really do love it. And you see how easy it is to make it, so have a go at it. You wouldn't know what was chainmail. It is so versatile, strong. Yes, absolutely, and you are so right. And this is why I say when you're starting to doing chainmail or you never done it before, start with something like this, because the Tigertail will hold your bracelet up. The chainmail is only there for decoration, and then once you get comfortable with opening and closing jump rings, then you can go along and try some of those chainmail patterns when you're using the jump rings to hold the whole thing together. And you can go down in size. You can use 4 mils or 8 mils or all sorts of different size of rings and do loads of weird and wonderful patterns as well. Oh, Lucy's saying love them all. So do have a look on the website. Simon has given us a discount today. So instead of £18.50, they're £15, so they're £2.50 off of each one of those kits. But for £15, you don't forget you are making 2 bracelets. And the way how I added them together, you make like my size bracelet, because I got slightly larger wrists than Sarah, just slightly. My one is like 8-inch and her one is like, or 8.5-inch, and her one is like what, like 6-inch? I don't know. She's got a tiny wrist. So yeah, so each one of those kits will make you 2 bracelets. So you can make one for yourself and give one away. So that's it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow. We will be doing a stitching technique. We will be doing netting. And shall I give you a sneak peek? Would you like to see a sneak peek for tomorrow? I really do love them. Let me just grab them. I have to say thank you for Bernie today, because Bernie helped us to make these samples for us. So thank you so much, Bernie. Really, really appreciated. If I had to make all the samples up what I'm showing to you, I probably would not be able to sleep at all. I would have to be like 24 hours all the time. So Bernie, thank you very much for helping to make up the samples. Now I'm going to show you tomorrow's one. I love this. So this is going to be, we're going to be doing tuberose netting with cat's eye beads. I love these beads, and pearls and seed beads. And we're going to make a front piece of a necklace, and then we're just gonna opening these up. We're going to add the back parts just with a single strand. So what is great about this style of necklace, we have got a more intricate part on the front, but you do have got like a simple strand going to the back, so that's really speeds up your jewelry. I do love I love these. I love all the colors as well with the cat's eye, and because you get that, like, can you see as like I'm moving it, you get that cat's eye glass, you get that shine on there. I just love them. I really love them. So that is what we're going to be tomorrow. Right, my lovelies, if there is no more questions, Camille's saying she loves cat's eyes. Oh, I love them too. If there's no more questions, then I'm going to sign off, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and we're going to be playing with these beautiful beads and just sort of stitching them together. Very easy technique, very, very different. Today we've been using pliers. Tomorrow we're going to be using needle and thread to stitch them together. But I love it. I just love the texture, what it gives you. So, stitching again, love them, Carol is saying. Yes, I love stitching as well. I love all sorts of different techniques, I guess. Right, my lovelies, have a lovely day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Keep safe. Keep on beading. Keep on crafting.